Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of the 12 Games of Switchmas, and today I will be talking about my second favorite game of this year, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. And I just wanted to say that I had a very hard time choosing between this game and the game that I chose for my personal game of the year, which I will be talking about in the next and final episode of the 12 Games of Switchmas. So, yeah, both of these games, I would say, are easily some of my favorite games of all time, easily top 10, and I just really enjoyed Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Like, it translated the Kirby formula very well into a 3D platformer, and because of that, it's definitely one of my favorite 3D platformers of all time. So I was a little worried about the Kirby formula being translated over to 3D at first, because Kirby controls pretty uniquely for a platformer, since you inhale and then you use the copy abilities. There's a lot of things going on, so I was a bit worried how that would translate over, but it turns out it's very intuitive and it works really well. I feel like the only thing they really nerfed here is the amount of moves you can do with copy abilities, but honestly, that doesn't even matter, because I feel like this game really expanded the scope of how copy abilities could work, since they added the mechanic with evolved copy abilities. I mean, sure, it would have been nice to have a more expanded moveset, but I feel like that's something they could explore in the future games, and that really didn't impact my experience with the game at all. Just all of the copy abilities controlled really well, and I feel like they controlled very uniquely in 3D. They almost felt like completely new copy abilities, rather than ones seen in previous games, because they all controlled very differently in 3D. I mean, some of them controlled similar, but just the fact that you have another dimension kind of makes things a lot different. And yeah, there's not that many base copy abilities in Forgotten Land, but I feel like that's because of the evolved copy abilities and the fact that you can upgrade them and do a lot of things with that, which I like. And I like that they get different they get new moves and different things when you upgrade the abilities, and I really like that feature overall. And I feel like this game, overall, it doesn't really feel like the first 3D Kirby game. It feels like they actually kind of have a good formula here. It doesn't really feel rough, or like the first game, or the first 3D game. It really feels fluid and intuitive. It's just really nice overall. The controls, just in general, are really nice, and the level design is also great. It's more of a linear 3D platformer, kind of like 3D World. I think 3D World is probably the closest comparison, though I would say that the levels are longer than they are in 3D World. And the level design, I would say, is great. They took the best aspects of level design in the 2D Kirby games, and they made it even better in 3D. And there's a lot of collectibles and different things here. I know many previous Kirby games had collectibles, but I feel like they almost kind of made it similar to how a lot of 3D platformer collectibles work, since you have the Waddle Dees that you have to find, and the different capsules you can find in different areas, and I really like how they laid everything out. The worlds feel alive, and the worlds are very fleshed out here, and that's another thing that I like about this game. The theming is great. It basically takes place on an abandoned planet. It used to have a civilization there, almost kind of comparable to how Shiverstar is in Kirby 64, but a more expanded concept of that. There's a city and a mall overgrown with plants, and an abandoned amusement park, and different things like that. And then there's even a city that's overflowing with lava. I'm not gonna go any farther with that, but since I don't want to get into any spoilers, but all of the worlds are great. They're really unique, and I really like this theming. It's just really cool, and I feel like that's kind of an appropriate theming to go in to like with the first 3D game and everything, since it allows for a lot of exploration, and it almost kind of adds a sense of mystery to it, because you don't really know what's going on at first, and it kind of makes exploring a 3D area even more interesting. And that's why I like that they kind of went in a unique direction with the first 3D game with Forgotten Land and everything. And I feel like other things like the boss fights also work really well in 3D. And I mean, like, they're not hard and everything except for like the true arena ones, like the end of the game and the post game and everything. But the bosses work really well, and I really like how they work. And I like the designs of the bosses as well. They're based off of like different animals and everything. And they even added Wispy Woods in there. I mean, tropical woods. Because they have to have a Wispy Woods variant in every game. But yeah, overall, Forgotten Land, definitely one of my favorite games of all time, and definitely my favorite Kirby game. I just really enjoyed this game, and I definitely recommend this game. Like, even if you haven't played a Kirby game, I still recommend Forgotten Land. It's definitely one of my favorite 3D platformers. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server if you want to. Goodbye.